What is up, Xolemates? In this video, we're going to be hopping into Ableton Live and making a bedroom pop beat. I'm going to show you my process from start to finish using only Ableton instruments and audio effects. So let's hop right in. Actually, if you could leave a like on this video, you don't know how much that helps. And I have an EP dropping in a week, which crazy to say. So the pre-save link is down below if you want to pre-save it. And if it's out, then the link will be there as well. So let's hop right into Ableton. When you open up Ableton for the first time, you're gonna get this layout view, and it's much easier to write a song. If you go up here to the top right and click on the layout view, I actually don't know what this view is called, but we're gonna call it layout view because that makes sense. So what I'm gonna do, just to make this a lot easier as well, we're just gonna delete all those tracks, right click, insert a MIDI track, delete that. So we just have one track. I think the basis for most songs are the chords. Once you have the chords down, it's really easy to expand off of that. So what we're gonna be doing is, this is the loop right here. So we're gonna zoom in and we're gonna loop these 8 bars or 4 bars. And we're gonna drag this out, do Command-Shift-M, Control-Shift-M if you're using a PC. And now we have these keys. But you're gonna notice that if we make a note and we press play, we're not going to hear anything, and that's because we don't have an instrument right here. So let's throw in a bedroom pop Ableton instrument. Let's go to the instrument rack, and I'm going to throw in a pad. So let's go through these instruments. Nope. 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 Let's try this one. Sounds cool. Now we're going to double click on our MIDI selection and let's draw out some chords. I would stick to the C major scale because that's going to be super easy. It's all of the white keys. So if you make a bunch of notes in the white keys, then it's going to sound in key. So already not a big fan of this instrument. Let's go ahead and switch it. I like this one. Moving pictures. It's nice and warm. So let's create some chords. I'm going to make an F major chord. There we go. Let's move it up an octave, shift up. Let's turn on the metronome and change the BPM to 115. So slow it down just a little bit. And then we're going to change chords right here. So you're going to notice that that doesn't sound that in key, and it's because we have a black key right here. So we're going to move that down. So let's go ahead and do that. Love it. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna make these chords arpeggiating, meaning they're gonna go like, instead of all play it at once, they're gonna be playing like a ladder, up and down the ladder. And before we do that, I'm going to change some of these chords into sevenths. There we go. Now we're going to click on the notes and make them go one at a time. All right, let's press play. So we'll see how we like it. I think that's cool. I think that is chill vibes. So, what we're gonna do now is we're gonna play around with these settings. Alright, there we go. We have some chords down, but they don't sound like chords. They sound like a melody. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna duplicate this instrument and then turn it off. There we go. So that one's gonna be off for now. We have another instrument. We're going to change the color to peach. Let's go to piano and keys. I like this one. There we go. So we want to change this back into the chords. Now we're just going to drag out, select them all. And you noticed that I didn't make these chords go all the way. There's a little gap right here. And the reason I did that is because I want to select these notes, select these notes, select these notes, these, and these. So all the notes, except for the root notes, turn the grid off, and then move all of these slightly to the right. There we go. And then now I'm going to hold down Shift and deselect the second notes. There we go. Now we're going to move the top two notes more to the right. And last step, you guessed it, you are very smart. We are going to be selecting the last notes of the chords and moving them out. So now that we have the chords, we can turn this other instrument on, maybe turn the volume down a little bit, and now we're going to have a melody and chords. So let's do some quick mixing. We're going to go to our audio effects from Ableton, type in EQ, and we're going to be throwing in an EQ8. If you just have the EQ3, that works fine as well. And we're going to be taking the highs out of this arpeggiated instrument. Just have it focused on these mids and boost the mid-lows. There we go. Now we're going to be selecting the piano and doing the opposite. We're going to take out that mid section. Congratulations, you just learned some simple mixing, and that is using EQ to have individual tracks hold certain frequencies. So this right here, we're going to rename it pad, focused on the lows. And then this instrument right here, focused on the highs. And this pad is more focused on the mid-lows, and we want an instrument to be focused on the lows. So we're going to duplicate this piano, and we are going to be making a bass. So we're going to change this to red. There we go. We're going to solo the bass instrument. I'm going to delete all of these extra notes. And then we're going to do Control A, Shift down. So now you're like, I can't really hear any of those lows, and that is because this EQ has taken them out. So we're going to turn that off, and then we're going to throw in a low pass. There we go. But let's throw in an actual bass. Love it. Okay, we have 3 elements, and look at all of the EQ ranges. Bass is on the lows, piano is on the highs, pad is on the mids, all of them together. Now that we have these 3 elements, we are going to be structuring the song out using markers. So I'm going to right click up here, add locator. We're going to call this verse 1. And then I'm going to go 16 bars out. We're going to do the same thing and call it chorus 1. And in chorus 1, usually in the choruses, you want them bigger than the verses. So you want to include all of the elements. So we're going to move everything over here. And then I'm going to copy this piano, paste it right here. And there we go. We have a simple song structure. We can do Command D, duplicate that out. Our song is almost done. We just need one last thing, and that is drums. So let's go over to drums.
Three hours later.
I like this 808 core kit. So I accidentally changed our bass to an 808 core kit. We don't want that. So we're going to insert a MIDI track and then double click. There we go. So now I want to start the song off just the keys. And then right here, this is when we get verse 1. So let's actually insert another marker, call this intro. And then once we get to verse 1, that is when we will be getting our first drums. That's too quick. So I like that, but it's a little too loud. Change the velocity down here. So now you can barely hear it. So now we have duplicated that out. We are going to come over to the chorus. And we want the snares to be a little bit louder, so we're going to boost the velocity. We want the cymbal to be a little bit louder, as well as these, and then we're going to throw in a closed hat. And we want the second closed hat to be a little bit quieter. There we go. Now we're just going to do Command D throughout the chorus. Now let's throw in a kick. There we go. Turn it down just a little bit. So what we can do is hold down Option and drag these closed hats up to the maracas. There we go. So I think a cool thing to do before the chorus comes in is to add a little drum break. And the way that we can do that is just come over here, move this down, press play. So we just want a simple. So let's do clap going into snare. Alright, last thing we could do is add some spice. So I like this pad, but we could go to our audio effects, type in chorus, and throw in some chorus. Sounds cool. We can copy it and also throw it into our piano. Paste it right here. Alright, and last thing that we could do is, you know how we started off this video using only white keys? We can go to all the tracks, do Command A, and change the keys from C major to other keys by just selecting all the keys and then doing down, like 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go up 1. There we go. So now we're going to go to all of these tracks and do the same thing. Command A, 1, 2, 3. Command A, 1, 2, 3. Alright, Soulmates, I hope this video helped you make a bedroom pop beat using only Ableton instruments and audio effects. As you can see, you can do this today. So here's the beat. Also, new EP dropping in a week. I'm just really excited for you to hear it. But here's the vibe. We made right now. Don't be a clown. And go into town.